Well, we know Clover is because she was in the first Nonary game. I suppose Junpei is as well because sending messages back to Akane in the very first game. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we do remember that one, Gummy. And it turned out to be true.
Lagomorph?
You call him Zero Jr. His official designation is Lagomorph. Lagomorph, this is an order. Unlock my bracelet.
Compliance.
Now, everything is in place. I have put the bracelet onto Dio. All we have to do is place his body in the 5th AB room, the second one from the right.
With Quark.
That's the one Quark is in, right?
Correct. I will move him.
So, Akane's met Quark. But only with Quark being unconscious.
I will also put your bodies back into the 3rd AB room.
Put our bodies back in there?
Once that's done, I will reset its puzzle to an unsolved state.
Why do you need to do all that?
To recreate the history that you remember. Your consciousness is about to leave your body and return to the future. Your body will be emptied, and your other consciousness will jump back in. If your bodies aren't back in the 3rd AB room by then, it would be bad.
So you're saying some version of us is going to wake up in that room and repeat the same history again? Well, I guess this could actually be our 2nd or 3rd time.
You are exactly correct. Lastly, I'm going to leave this with you.
She paused and pulled something out of her pocket. It was a small key attached to a string.
I'll tie it onto your ankle so that you won't lose it. All right, Sigma?
Okay. What's it say on there?
Tu fui ego eris.
It's Latin. It means, what you are, I was. What I am, you will be.
Yes.
What am I supposed to do with it?
It will help you meet someone who's very important.
What?
Go. Return to the future. You won't be alone. I will be at your side, watching over you. Now hurry.
Wait. I still... New destination has been added to the flowchart. One more box down there. And that's ended there. But without an end box.
Oh, looks like you're awake.
49 hours to go. No. I do like the idea of a flowchart. I'm a person who wants to get everything in a game done and experience everything. So the whole idea of the flowchart makes that possible, because although you're making choices that change how the story goes, the game makes you go back to those choices and experience the other lines anyway. So you're going to experience everything anyway. Unless you're in the rooms, you only get the silver files, you don't get to read the whole gold files and everything. Yeah. That's one thing I didn't like about the first one. I actually had to look up walkthrough on how to get the true endings, because it didn't tell you needed to do certain things. For this game, it does, because they require you to go through different timelines to find out different information that only is revealed in certain situations. Yeah. Yeah. Is this the infirmary?
Why are we here?
Do you know what happened at the AB gate?
Kay and I went back to the infirmary, but...
We waited and waited, and the two of you never returned.
So we went to the warehouse to check on you.
The difference between the flowchart in this one and the flowchart in the 999, I do have them on computer, so it is the remake for both of them. In 999, say here, you choose which way you want to go. It forks into 3 trees, like that. But instead of it just keep forking like this one does, they would join back up to the middle tree. And then from there you go a different way. And then they'll join up again when everyone joined up as a group. So, depending on choices you made up here, or in this room, or went down there, conversations once they joined back together could change. So that game, the flowchart was pretty broken and didn't work well. This one, they force you to go through all the different choices, and it works much better.
We found you passed out in front of the AB rooms.
Kay and I hurried back here with you.
I looked over at Fire and met her eyes. Do you remember what happened just now?
You mean what happened a long time ago?
Yeah. You got him pretty good, huh?
Huh. Yeah, I remember all right.
Hey, what are you guys talking about?
Quark!
What am I? Chopped liver?
Alice!
Back among the conscious and not psychotic, huh?
Yeah, thanks. Grandpa told me what you did. Thanks for finding the medicine for us.
No problem. All in a day's work. Although, I wouldn't mind a little swimsuit action. Really, Sigma? It's not the time.
Really grabbing at straws here, aren't you?
Yeah. Hey, I wasn't talking to Quark. That was an offer for Alice.
Not really my point.
No.
Whatever. Forget about that. Now that you guys are awake, all we gotta do is open the number 9 door.
Yeah, yeah. Sigma is just not right at times. He's got a very unhealthy obsession with seeing girls in swimsuits. Huh?
What are you talking about?
Look at your bracelet.
It says 10. I have 10 BP.
I've got 15 BP. That means I got 6 more points while I was out.
But how?
You've been asleep for more than 2 hours.
Well... There's a... He might be thinking it, but the way he openly expresses it is what's not right. Exactly, Master of the Zoo. You're locked up in a building with a heap of other people that are also locked up. None of them are going to have swimsuits with them. And if you do safely get out of here, maybe then you can fantasize about it. But you never ask to see a girl in a swimsuit as a reward for saving their life. It's a bit weird. And Clover's wearing next to nothing as well. Yeah, Alice is wearing not much, and Clover's not wearing too much either.
We've played the AB game 3 times.
3 times?
Yes. Of course, the color and group assignments were shuffled around each time. But no matter who voted, everyone chose Ally.
And that means everyone's got at least 9 points and we can all leave.
And now all of us have enough to leave.
Yep. I just realized at the start of the game, Zero Junior said one of us 9 was Zero Senior. We saw Zero Senior in the director's office in the hologram. Unless that's K. We don't... That person wasn't in our group. And we did rip K's mask off once, and he had our face? How had everyone cooperated long enough to raise all of our BPs past 9? Was it because Akane hadn't been killed? Without a death to start things off, maybe we'd been less suspicious of one another. Or could the bombs have had something to do with it? We'd all joined forces against Dio, and Fi and I had been able to disarm all of them. All of us had banded together against a common enemy and overcome a tremendous threat. Perhaps that had strengthened our bond. Which, I had to admit, would be somewhat ironic. After all, Dio had planted the bombs that forced us all to work together against him. This must have been what Akane was talking about.
Haven't I told you? Death was unavoidable. Sacrifices had to be made for the sake of the project.
Come on, let's go! Let's open the door and get out of here!
Wait. What about him? After some discussion, we decided to leave Dio behind. Wow. Alice was the only holdout. She'd complained about wanting to take him back to her superiors, but after I mentioned they'd come back to investigate after we escaped and deal with Dio then, she reluctantly complied. Yeah, that is a bit cold. That said, earlier in the game, I was actually thinking of ways, after we finished all the rooms, how we could all force... Like, I wasn't thinking about knocking Dio out to stop him leaving. I was thinking of ways of having pairs and all that to force Dio to not reach 9 points and everyone else does, so everyone else can leave except him. Suppose it made it easier that he was knocked out and they had the handcuffs.
All right, let's get going.
Everybody ready? I'm gonna open it.
Yes, just get on with it.
Yes, you don't need to ask every time, Sigma. Everyone's told you every time you don't need to ask. Everyone else swallowed and nodded. I grabbed the lever and pulled it down.
The number 9 door has been opened. It will remain open for 9 seconds.
All right, everybody, let's move. I didn't need to tell them twice. The room inside was clearly a loading elevator. It looked sort of like a large plate on top of a huge pedestal. We ran to the center of the plate and turned around. The number 9 door stood wide open.
2, 1, 0.
It'd be so good if Dio woke up as this announcement was saying number 9 door has closed.
The number 9 door is closing.
Yeah. Here, just the huge Dio voice saying, "No! How dare you leave without me? How dare you leave me behind?"
This ends the Nonary game. Thank you for your participation. As the game is over, all doors other than the number 9 door have been unlocked.
It has still come out that only Quark and Alice have had the Excelivir to cure the Radical 6. So does everyone else still have it in their system? And are they not going to get the cure?
Looks like we did it.
Yes, we should keep moving.
Beyond the door was a wide hallway that ended in a very solid wall. Yeah, I was thinking, they're all still infected, aren't they? Yeah. To the left we found a very familiar looking door. We pushed it open and went in. Yeah, the Clover ending was the one that we found them all dead in a pile, isn't it? Yeah. The pressure exchange chamber.
You know what this place is?
Yeah, sort of. This whole facility is pressurized apparently. I think the idea is to keep the air outside and consequently the virus from getting inside. That means that if we want to go out, we have to decompress so we match the outside air pressure. This room here is where you prepare for going into the actual pressure exchange room. You see all those suits along the wall? I figure we need to put those on and head to the decompression room downstairs.
Whoa! Hold on a minute! You're saying the air outside is full of that horrible virus?
Don't worry, you've already caught it. Yeah, that's what it seems like. Of course, according to Akane, we're all already infected with Radical 6, so the whole room seemed a little pointless.
Why? How did all this happen?
Did they...
No, that's not possible.
We've come this far. We can't turn back now. Let's go outside. There's no way to know what's really going on until we do.
All right.
No one else objected. We all donned the protective suits and headed downstairs to the decompression room. As soon as we were all inside, the process began. Maybe his suit of armor is good enough for him. Or maybe there's an extra large suit for him. Through my helmet, I could hear the soft hiss of air being sucked out of the room. We stood there for several minutes, waiting for the process to finish. At last it did, and we heard the door begin to open. Beyond it was another decompression chamber. We repeated the process 2 more times before we reached the final door and opened it. The dead, bleak landscape wasn't a surprise for me. I'd seen it before in another timeline, Dio ending. The others hadn't, however, and although I couldn't see their faces through the visors of their helmets, I heard more than a few gasps over the radio. For a few long moments, we just stood there, astonished.
Where the hell are we? The desert, I guess? I figured that out. I mean, which one? I don't know, but I think I know what day it is. Look at the moon. It's red, right?
It's not the day you think. They think it's New Year's Eve 2028. But it's more like 2078, roughly.
That means today's the total lunar eclipse.
Yes, you got that part correct.
So? Remember the astronomy magazine in the lounge? Well, the next eclipse like this was gonna be on December 31st, 2028.
according to that magazine, which was a week after you got kidnapped. But that's not real. Well, it's real, but that's not how long time has passed.
So... Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Are you suggesting we were sleeping for a week after we were abducted?
Just a little longer than a week.
I think so.
Wherever we were must have been far away from any city. The air was clearer than I'd ever seen it. Yeah, Alice, you're thinking too small. And the stars? The sky was full of them. More stars than I'd ever seen in my life. I could even spot the hazy arm of the Milky Way. But the most striking feature was the moon. It was blood red and massive. Much bigger, in fact, than I remembered it being. Then, as I watched, a black spot began to move across the surface. It was hard to see details, but it looked circular. The spot continued to move across the moon, heading for the right edge. The shadow of the Earth. What's that?
The moon. Well, the moon's shadow, actually.
Yep. The moon's shadow? I frowned. That didn't make any sense.
Zero told me to stay quiet. I think he was worried I'd spill the beans on his operation. He said if I didn't toe the line, he wouldn't just kill me. He'd kill Quark, too. And I agreed, like an idiot, and brought Quark with me. Just so I could see her. Such an idiot.
He agreed to come to the AB game and participate in the AB game, or the Nonary Games, because Zero told him that he could see Akane if he came. Which I kind of guessed when we saw Akane's hologram. Or I think I guessed before that.
So, that being the case, might as well start with this. I meant what I said before. That up there is the moon's shadow.
What the hell are you saying?
Think about it. If that's the moon's shadow, then what's it falling on?
That's Earth?
Yeah. It's not the red moon you get from a lunar eclipse. Then again, this isn't a lunar eclipse. It's a solar eclipse.
What?
Anybody in the black spot down there is looking up at the moon, covering the sun.
What? No way. If that's the Earth, then where the hell are we?
The moon, of course.
What? You're right, Spud. The moon.
This is the lunar surface. We were just inside a moon base.
No way. No, you've gotta be lying. How do you expect us to believe that? This can't be the moon. Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. Besides, if this was the moon, how do you explain the gravity? The moon only has 1/6 of the Earth's gravity. So what's this?
That's why we had to go through several pressure exchange chambers to get the pressure down to what it is on the moon. She picked up a rock and dropped it.
See? That looked perfectly normal.
No matter what the gravity, the rock would fall at the same rate.
Yes, it looked that way.
Luna?
You were right about the gravity in a way.
Or they're saying it is slowed down, but because we're all infected with Radical 6... But Alice got the cure. there is pressure on the moon. There is gravity on the moon. There is pressure because the size of the moon is just much lower than Earth.
I was one of the people who knew this wasn't Earth.
Because she's a golem.
Well, I suppose I'm not people, if we're being honest, but
Yeah.
Excuse me? What?
please just listen.
She's a golem. Maybe? Oh yes, they did say that because they were still asleep when they got cured. And Luna said that it'll take a while for them to be completely recovered and to let them rest. But Alice woke up quickly, much earlier than expected, ran to the AB rooms and voted betray. So, but that still doesn't add up because they done 3 rounds of voting in the AB games since Alice and Quark received the cure. So surely it doesn't take that long to wear off.